Yo guys, here to pump Pokemon cards. Just kidding, but I did want to talk about Chinese Pokemon cards. So just to start off, there's a huge misconception with people, especially in the US, who are ignorant to things over in Southeast and East Asia, thinking that when you hear the word China, it means cheap and low quality or fake. These Pokemon cards from China are not fake. They're not low quality. I'll start off with explaining the difference. So there's simplified and there's traditional Chinese. So simplified is mainland China. That's the country of China. That is where simplified is being released. That's what everyone's talking about when they are talking about China entering the Pokemon card market. Now, there's traditional, which is released in places like Taiwan and Hong Kong. So the difference is the cards in Hong Kong and Taiwan, I believe, I could be wrong on this, but they're not printed with the same quality as Japanese cards. However, simplified mainland Chinese cards are. Now, all the products you've been seeing, like Lily's gift box, Marnie's gift box, the tag team sets, are all simplified Chinese. So when you see the boxes like I think it's like Dreams Come True, that's not simplified. Those boxes are super old, a few years is what I mean. And yeah, so the reason why I want to talk about this is because mainland China is in this awkward period where they're in between. They're trying to rush up to Scarlet and Violet, so they made these ridiculous sets, which I'll get into, filled with the best hits from Sun and Moon, like way better set lists than Japan and the US had. But before I get into that, why you should collect this now is because everyone in Sword and Shield era, like all the new gen COVID collectors, the people just started collecting with the Logan Paul hype, collectibles hype, everyone had hindsight where they were like, oh, I wish I got these boxes. I wish I was buying Neo and EX era boxes in 2015 when they're only $300 on eBay. I know, sounds crazy, but they were. And the thing is, when COVID hit, like team up boxes were already at like $350, Unbroken Bonds, Cosmic, everything was moving really quick in price. And no one really got to collect that era of Pokemon too well. I think Sun and Moon was a pretty dead era. I've been collecting since mid EX era, and I think that period is almost reminiscent of Sun and Moon. XY had the Pokemon Go hype. Those sets are beyond cheap for how old they are, and Sun and Moon's already more expensive than most XY sets, that should tell you something. So what I mean by this is, if you want to collect tag team cards and not miss out again, and you want Japanese quality, which is the highest quality of cards, mainland simplified Chinese cards are the ones you want to start collecting before the price skyrockets, which it already has been. Korean cards are what people wanted. Chinese cards, or Korea is what people wanted to be like the collectible card because it's cheap, the quality is garbage, but China fits that gap where they have Japanese quality still, but they also have way better box art. They have transparent pull rates because of the laws in Japan or China, and it's still maintaining the quality of Japanese cards because they're printed in Japan. So that's why I think if you're gonna buy these or you want to collect these, I think definitely get on these cards before the ship has sailed. The sets have already moved in price. The special products have already moved in price. So yeah, that's why I believe you should collect these now. Again, it's not financial advice, not saying invest in this, but this is my take on something you don't want to miss out on before it's too late. And that's what everyone felt in the hobby when COVID came around. So why simplified in the Sun and Moon era? So for some reason they picked this, and I'm grateful that they did, because they basically took what Pokemon failed to do with the tag team sets, which is create actual good set lists. And they made these, like, think of VMAX Climax, but in the tag team era. So yeah, almost just like the tag team GX boxes, but you know, I think that these Chinese boxes have better set lists because it's more organized and just having everything in one. So yeah, they're almost like a special set because, see, the issue with Japan and the US is when we released, or when Pokemon released these tag team sets during the Sun and Moon era, they would have like one good card in them, and then the rest was just like, it was almost like coping with the pack art and the box art. Because like, take Unbroken Bonds or Unified Minds, you know, like the box art and the tag team art is amazing on the regular GX cards, but the actual cards you want to pull, like the heavy hitters, there's only like 1 to 2 of them that you want, like the Gardevoir and Sylveon. I'm talking majority here because, you know, everyone wants something different, but what I'm trying to say is, like, they did a really bad job at spreading out the good cards. I feel like all the good tag team cards were shoved into Cosmic and Team Up, and then all the other ones were kind of just lacking. But obviously it's easy to say that, but you know, that's just my take on it. If you go on to Pokelector and look at the Japanese tag team sets, it looks super hype, like Wild Blaze or what, I forget the names of the other sets, but like the sets that make up Unified Minds. And then you go into the actual set list and scroll to the bottom, there's like no actual good cards in them. The regular GXs are like the stars of the set, none of the alt arts or anything. So yeah, so I'll have pictures up, I probably already put them up, of what these Chinese set lists look like. They have the Huan, Kui, and Mu, I don't know how to pronounce these sets. There's 3 sets that make up the entire tag team era, and they are just stacked. The box art looks amazing as well. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to touch on is the prices of these have skyrocketed. So they retailed on the secondary market for $80 a box. They're already $150, and then other products from the era, like the Lily's gift box, hit lows of $300. It retailed at about $150. It's now already up to about $1,000 a box. So takeaway from this video, if you're gonna collect Chinese, collect now, before the market gets, you know, crazy, more crazy than it already is. And yeah, just wanted to try to educate people on these cards and what's going on.